guys, welcome back to Mighty Morphin DJ. I'm DJ, and today you voted for it, so I'm showing you how to create your very own Power Sword holster, compatible with both the Legacy Collection and Lightning Collection Power Swords. Let's get started. Okay guys, so we're going to build the short version of the Power Sword holster. So this is going to be a lot easier to store, it's going to be a lot easier to strap onto you, and it's going to be lighter weight, so you don't have the weight of the full-length holster and the weight of the sword coming down on you while you're trying to walk around at your con. So what you're going to need is you're going to need some standard EVA foam, which I've got right here. You're going to need some white vinyl, which I have right here. You're going to need some glue. You can also use glue gun if you want. Either one should work. You're going to need some red electrical phasing tape, which you can get this at pretty much any hardware store. It's just red electrical tape. Just ask them for the electrical section. Walk around till you find this. You'll recognize it when you see it. You're also going to need some duct tape because you need to fold this in on itself to hold it together. And that's where the duct tape comes in. And then you're also going to need a ruler so you can measure out the EVA foam and the vinyl while you're cutting it. So, what we're going to start off with is the EVA foam. Now, I've already cut mine out, but you need to cut this 12 inches by 6 inches. 12 inches by 6 inches. Now, the length can be whatever you want it to be. If you want a full-length holster, then it can be the length of the sword. But for my purposes, I've made this out of about 9.5 inches, give or take. So that's really all you need to hold the sword. And then you just put a strap in here to hold it onto your belt. Now, once you've got your EVA foam cut out to this 12 inches by 6 inches, then what you need to do then is get yourself some vinyl. And white vinyl, and cut it out to a similar measurement, 12 inches by 6 inches. So that way you can cover it up. What I did was I just got this cut out first, and then I put this over top of a sheet of white vinyl and traced around it, and then just cut it out. That's the easiest way to get this. So, what we're going to do first is we're going to put this together. And the way you do that is you get some duct tape, you're going to put it together like this. So we get some duct tape, and this part can be a pain in the butt, so it might take you a while before you get it, but eventually you will get it. Once you've got the top of it put together with the duct tape, you're going to need to take some scissors and cut the top of the duct tape here and here, because it's going to do this, and you don't want it to do that. Okay, now that we've got our holster sealed at the edges, what we want to do now is we want to take this red tape and we're going to go over the tops of this with the tape. That's going to create a nice little trim at the top so that A, we're not exposing this black holster, and B, so that it kind of offsets the white. So red and white, so it looks like the Red Rangers, color palette. And you don't need to use a whole lot, just a little bit all the way around. So something like this. Go around just like that. And then you're just going to do that all the way around the whole thing. Okay, now we've got our red tape all the way around the top of the holster. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take some red tape and go down the middle, about the width of this duct tape. The reason we're doing that is that this white vinyl, we're not completely wrap around it. There's going to be a little bit of a gap here, as you can see. So we're going to use that tape to create a red stripe going down the middle underneath this to create more of that red and white color palette look. That'll look good with the Red Rangers holster. Okay, so that should do it for what we need down the middle here. So now we're going to wrap this around here. And you're going to see sort of how that's going to look. All right, so it should look something like this. So now we just got to glue it on there. Okay, and now we have the holster pretty much completed. We've got the red trim going down here. We've got the red trim going across the top. No one's going to see the inside because your sword is going to be in there for most of the time, so we don't have to worry about that. And then no one's really going to see this, so we don't have to worry about that. Now, from here, we have a few decorative options. You can either take red string and wrap it around the holster to give it sort of a just a different kind of feel. So you could do something like this, if something like this struck your fancy. You could leave it as is, because this doesn't look bad by itself. It really doesn't. So you could just leave it the way it is. It'll function, people will get it, it'll do its job. You could leave it like this. Or you could make it look a little bit more like an authentic piece of the Red Rangers uniform. Now, these are scraps that I have from when I made my Red Ranger boot bracers or shin guards a long time ago. So this is what I have left over. So I could easily use these to create the Red Ranger diamond effect on the holster. Now I'd have to cut it up a little bit, but this is an option that you do have. And that would be very easy to do. All you have to do is take something kind of like this, maybe a little bit shorter. So this is about 9.5 inches long. So you could take one of these, two of these, and make a diamond that's approximately, 9 inches long at about this width. This is about 4.5 inches wide. So if you made this, 9 inches by 4.5 inches, put it together like that, put the diamond on there, put it like that, that would look really good. So now I'm not going to go through all that here because I pretty much told you how to do it, and you guys are probably creative enough, you know how to figure it out. But from here, what we want to do is we want to figure out how we want to strap it to ourselves. Now, if you are in traditional Red Ranger cosplay, strapping it to your belt is not going to be a good idea because the belt's going to be too loose, it's going to sag, and then that's going to cause all kinds of problems with the weight of the sword. So what you would probably want to do is come up with a strap that has this on your shoulder. So you can wear it on your shoulder here and then pull it out like this. I have done that before with my holster. Now, if you're in non-traditional Ranger cosplay, which is what I like to do, and you have an actual belt holding up your pants, then yeah, I could strap this to that belt. And there's all kinds of ways to do that. Now, because you may want to alternate, whether you wear this on your hip or on your back, the best way to do this, I think, is to take a small strap, just like this, put a buckle on the top of it right here, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut a hole, we're going to cut a small niche right here on the back side of our holster. We're not going to do it here because this is where the duct tape is holding it together and we don't want to weaken that. Plus, we want this on the outside because this, this looks good, this looks decorative, so we want to leave it like that. So we're going to cut a small niche right here in the middle, roughly the width of this. And this is about an inch wide, so we'll cut it about an inch wide. So we'll do it right about here, close to the top, just not super close to the top, because we don't want to weaken this part. So maybe an inch down, something like that. There we go. Let's see. That's about an inch. That's all we need. Just that little slit right there. So then what we do, we take our strap that we've already attached our belt buckle to. And the way I did this, just so you know, is like I said, you can get these at any crafting store. You can get them online. They're small. You want to get the smaller ones. I just fed it through this one side and then glued it right here. So this is permanent unless you cut it off. So we're going to take this, feed it through the hole that we just cut. There we go. Just like so. Now, I've said before, what we want to do is we want the holster to rest about 3 inches from the top of your belt line if you're going to wear it on your hip. Now, we want the top of your holster to rest about 3 inches below your belt line. That's really as low as you want it, because the Power Sword, the Legacy Collection Power Sword, is 41 inches long. The Lightning Collection Power Sword is 39 inches long. So you don't want them resting too low on your hip because they might drag on the floor. You don't want that. So you want this as high as you can get it. So what I've done is right here where this cutoff is, I've got it pulled in all as far as it'll go to that point. And then we're going to have it folded like this. We're going to take this part and we're going to cut off the slack. We're going to cut it right about here so that this can rest over top of it and we can glue the two together. So we got it right about here, give or take. So that should do it. So I'm going to cut it off right here. There we go. And now I'm going to put glue right here and rest this over top of it to keep the two together. Alrighty. Now just hold that nice and tight for a few minutes. It doesn't take hot glue very long to dry, but you do want to hold it for a minute to make sure that it gets nice and secure. In case you were wondering, the reason I've opted for a buckle here instead of just using the fabric by itself and creating permanent loops and cutting them together is because you may want to alternate wearing this on your hip or wearing it on your shoulder. It depends on how you plan to wear it. So we use this because we're going to make another little loop just for this part. And then the two will connect together and you'll be able to snip it off very easily. Separately, and I'm not going to do this here today, but you can make another strap that is meant to go over your shoulder and maybe connect to your belt line. Or you can make another strap, you can make a full-on shoulder harness that you can attach this to. And then you would just have to connect it via this clip. So that way you've got the smaller one for your hip, and then you can make a bigger one for your shoulder. And I may show you guys how to do that at another video. I just haven't perfected that yet. I'm unhappy with the ones that I've done so far. So I'm still doing research. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that properly. And then if I figure it out, I may do it here for you guys. Now, you're going to want this part to loop around your belt so that it'll hold it up. So the best way to do that, to make sure you get it to where the loop is not too big but not too small, is just get the belt you plan to wear. So I've got mine right here. And this isn't the belt I plan to wear. This is just about the same size as the belt I normally wear, so this will work. But you take the belt that you plan to wear, and then loop this around it, just like that, just to make sure you get the right size loop. Now you want to give it about an inch, give or take, here, overlap, so that you can glue that part together. So we've got it overlapped, this loop looks good, so we're going to go ahead and glue this. Okay, now that we've got the loop for your belt, now you need to attach the other side of the buckle. So, and like I said, you don't want the top of your holster to be much more than 3 inches below the top of your belt line, because you want it as high as possible so that your sword doesn't drag the floor. So now it depends on how tall you are. I'm only 5'6", so I want it as high as I can. If you're like 6 foot something, not as much of an issue for you. But if you do this exactly the way I've shown you, you've got this just like this, you've got this as tight as you'll get it, this will come out to roughly 3.5 inches to the top of your belt line. So that should be good enough. So let's go ahead and get this glued together. And we're going to just take glue, we're going to run it all along here to glue it to this strap, and then we'll cut off the extra. There we go. And this is the belt loop for your hip. And then she'll go together. Make sure the loop part is facing this way, facing against you. So just like this. And there you go. Okay, so here's the little belt loop that we made with the belt buckle attached to it. So we attached this to our belt. And then here's the holster that we made. So now we'll just take the other half of the buckle and attach it. There we go. We got a functioning holster. Now this will be compatible with both the Legacy Collection and Lightning Collection power swords. So here's the Legacy Collection sword. Rests in there. Very nice. Now, the sword is very top heavy. So after a while, you're going to start to see this. So you're going to need to keep your hand on it for most of the con. Just kind of rest your hand on it. Just kind of keep it steady so that it doesn't do that, because again, the sword is very top heavy. There's not a whole lot you can do with that, except for maybe create another strap here that wraps around your leg to keep it steady. You could do that. I've done that with my holster for the Lightning Collection Power Lance. So if you wanted to try something like that, you could. And then just for show, here's the Lightning Collection Power Sword. Goes in there just as well. Fits nice, and this one's not quite as heavy, so it's not as bad when it starts to do this. But it will still do it. So again, if you want to create a second strap that connects this to the top half of your leg here, that is something you could do. Like I said, I did it with the Lightning Collection Power Lance holsters that I made. So that's an option for you if you wanted to do that. Alright guys, there it is. Your Power Sword holster, compatible with both Legacy and Lightning Collection Power Sword. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you like the way it looks. And like I said earlier in the video, you can decorate it however you want. This is just the best. This is just how I like to do it. This is how I think it looks good. I hope you guys enjoy these videos. Ranger Gear by DJ. You know, I've showed you how to make the wrist bracers. I've showed you how to make the Power Sword holster. I've showed you how to make holsters for the Power Lance. All for the Ranger community who wants to cosplay as a Power Ranger, and they need a way to carry their props around, because we all know it's cumbersome to carry these props around. So if you guys do enjoy this and you want to see more, please let me know in the comments below. Let me know what pieces of cosplay you'd like to see me make. There's all kinds of stuff that I can do. So guys, just let me know in the comments below what you want to see. But in the meantime, if you have enjoyed this video, then why don't you check out this video right here and let me know how you like it in the comments below. This has been Mighty Morphin DJ. I'm DJ, and you know what time it is.